Welcome, Kevin and Paula, to the Dental Hygiene Basics podcast. My name is Dana. Today's guests on our show are the amazing Kevin and Paula. I'm so excited to have you both on and to share your RDH origin stories. So, Paula, I'm going to start with you. I want you to just give us a quick rundown. How did you get interested in dental hygiene school? Kind of how did you get to this point in your life?
This is a super condensed version. So basically, my sister-in-law, right out of high school, asked me if I wanted to take a dental assisting course with her. And I had no idea what I wanted to do. So me thinking back to going to the dentist over the years, I'm like, yeah, I would have never thought about that. That sounds amazing. So I signed up with her. It was a 13-week course. I finished. She did not. I went on to dental assisting, and she was the catalyst that got me into dental in general.
I love that. Oh my gosh, it all started just from one person's suggestion. I call those people dental hygiene heroes. The people just kind of like spark an interest on your journey. Okay, so we're going to dive into a lot of different things with your story, but what are you up to nowadays?
So much, too much.
She is doing the thing. That is what she's doing.
I'm trying
All
to
the
figure
things.
out where I fit in. And so right now I'm a yes person and I'm doing everything. So I started out as clinical. I quickly got into EMS. So I'm a clinical hygienist. I'm a trainer. I just opened up my own brick and mortar dental office, which was the coolest thing ever for me. And today will be my first day as faculty at Southwestern College, which is my alma mater.
Yay! Congratulations. Oh my
Thank you
gosh.
so much.
Love it. Kevin, you're an educator too, right?
I am.
Yeah. Where do you teach at?
West Coast University. So it's-
Awesome. Yes. And you're also a GBT trainer. Am I saying that right? EMS GBT trainer, right? Okay. And then do you still practice clinically as well?
like once or twice a month.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Once or twice
still
a month.
staying on top of things. I love that. And then how did you get interested in dental hygiene?
Ooh. So I was already working in a dental practice as a front office and back office. I was kind of like their floater. And then when I went into management, the dentist didn't want to do the hygiene services anymore. And I heard the word hygienist, saw how much the hygienist was asking for. And I was like, I like that. Look into this a little more. And then I wasn't sure yet. I went to a couple different schools. We have two up north where I was originally from. And I came down here to Anaheim to tour this school, West Coast University. So I was right across the street from Disneyland. Like, what? I'm sold. I don't know what I'm walking into, but if I can be right next to Disneyland, I'll pay anything.
I love that. I'm thinking when I graduated high school, my cousin and I went to Disneyland and did like a senior trip together. And it was like my first time really like traveling alone. And we stayed at a hotel right across the street. And I'm like, if I had known there was a dental hygiene school there, I probably would have just walked in and applied right there. Like, okay, what do I have to do?
It's the best. I think that was the funnest memory of my life was watching it and being like, this is an impulsive thought. I'm going to hygiene school by Disneyland. And I literally left. And my dad was like, are you sure you wanted to do this? Yeah, I mean, Paula knows this. I auditioned for Disney while I was applying for hygiene school. But I was like, yeah, no, I'm going into hygiene school. I got this. And then it actually happened. So I was like, well, I guess I'm here. So might as well finish.
Okay, but who is the character? Tell us the character because that's the best part of the story.
So I auditioned to be friends with Olaf for
Okay.
at California Adventure.
I love that. That's amazing. Okay. So I feel so sad because I'm like, but you didn't get the part.
I always say like, okay, so company D did not want me. So another company D got me.
The company of dental hygiene.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're the lucky ones.
We are the lucky ones. I know, right? They don't even know what they're missing out on. So, okay. I love this. I'm already loving the vibe. This is why I wanted you two on together because I was like, I know it's going to be so much fun and great story so far. So Professor Paula, which is probably just what I'm going to call you the rest of today's show. We're going to really just get you in here. I like that you said you're trying a bunch of different things and you're a yes person right now. And I've really been a yes person, I would say, since I've gotten into dental hygiene school. And because of that, I've done so many amazing things in my career. So I really applaud you for doing that and trying those different things. And that's just how you figure out where your space is, where your tribe is, what feels best to you. And I think it also helps you to find your purpose as well. So I'm very excited for you in this journey. And I hope you love teaching as much as I did. So today's
you.
the first day that you're going in to teach? Wow.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So students, take it easy on her.
So
Yeah,
nervous.
Kevin, do you have any advice for her first day teaching?
Okay, well, being a GPT trainer kind of gets you prepared for, I'll be honest, Professor Chebat. being as far as like the motions of learning how to navigate like a clinician and trying to teach them new concepts is going to come a little easier because you already have experience. Also, by the way, can we just say that out of our GB training, she is absolutely the best. So just honestly be you because there's so many other faculty, and I might get slapped on the head for saying this. There's a newer generation of faculty that truly understand what it's like to have been a student and remembers what that's like culturally too, from a cultural aspect of our generation, what's around us, and just the environment. Where there's other faculty who are so far removed at times, albeit they have good intentions, so far removed they don't necessarily understand like where the student, whether it's like whatever generation they're in. So I think for you, I have no worries. Absolutely no love you. And but to hold your ground, because sometimes the students are just as nervous, if not more nervous, and they're just trying to get everything done. But our job is to be an anchor. And me, Paula, is an anchor. So I think you're gonna be fine. Just little reminders. But you're gonna be great, Professor.
Thank you,
I love
Kevin.
that. That is seriously such good advice. You have to be the anchor because what a lot of people don't realize, I did this, we all did this, whether you realize it or not. When you go back to school, you kind of revert back to like I don't know, like a child almost. Like you see kids in school and like how they act and behave. Adults do the same thing because you're learning new things, you're processing new things. Life is more unpredictable when you're in school, even though you may have a set schedule, especially in dental hygiene school. I mean, we all remember how tough that was. And you have to be the anchor. But also, I think we've all had those experiences probably in dental hygiene school where we didn't feel supported or we didn't feel heard or we felt like no one really understood what we were going through. And I do agree with what you said, Kevin. I think the culture is changing because there are faculty like us out there who make that important, right? To understand our students, which is a good take. I think it's good for all of our students listening. That is our primary audience to hear, like, we do care about you in whatever way we show it. We're trying to help you get to the finish line, right? That's the most important thing. Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay, so let's dive back in a little bit into your journeys and your story. So for Paula, tell me, when you applied to dental hygiene school, did you apply once? Did you get on a wait list? What was that process like?
It's a very long process. So going back to when I was a dental assistant, I knew immediately I wanted to be a hygienist. And that was in 2006. I was 17 years old. So little kid Paula, I call myself a kid, but little kid Paula I just didn't have the consistency or the community that was going to help me do what I needed to do. So over the next 10 years, I did my prerequisites slowly on and off. I failed so many times. I would start and quit and start and quit. I switched over to business school, came back, but I always came back to dental hygiene. And when I finally decided to apply, the closest school to me was Southwestern College. And I'm lucky because it's a public school, it's a community college. And so it was feasible for my finances. And so over those 10 years, I saved money, I got myself ready, I got everything together, and then I applied once and I luckily got in. And I don't know why, but I think it was just part of my journey.
Yeah, no, I mean, you think 10 years is a long time to be working towards that dream. And so I love that you got in on the first try. And in those 10 years, I always tell students, there's no time wasted unless you're just wasting time. But even still, I think there's always something to reflect back on and think like, how did I take those 10 years to get where I needed to be, right? The journey is part of the story. And I was the same way. I first applied to dental hygiene school at 19 and I didn't end up going until I was 25 just because of all the things that happened in between then. So taking your time on this road is not a bad thing. And I love that. Okay. So Kevin, what about you? Did you get in on the first try?
No, so I was trying to go to the schools up north, but I didn't have the qualifications to even apply. And then for one of the schools, it was okay. I could still apply, but I had to get all the prerequisites done. But it's like community college, so all the science courses, because it was an international community college, they were constantly full. So I kept getting backed up on trying to get in. So I maybe waited 2 years, not as long as you guys, but I definitely waited. I was like, what? Hello? Yes.
I have a question, Professor. Was this Olaf that was applying to dental hygiene school or Kevin?
This was Mr. Lopez's son that was just trying to pay rent. Um,
Okay, okay. I just need that clarification. Sorry, you can continue.
and
I
then,
needed to.
but then you go to Disneyland, and you're like, wait a second, maybe because my dream wasn't dentistry. Like, I should probably start with that. The dream was not dentistry, and everyone's like, I was in dentistry and I fell in love with it. It's great. I was just trying to pay bills, but my family is all healthcare, so I was working at my cousin's office. But my first love was performing arts. But growing up in an Asian household, it's like that's a hobby. It's not the career path that you need to survive. But 2 years I waited, and then I got into West Coast right away after I took the entrance exam. So for the application, you have to take like something similar to the SAT, which when I took the SAT, let it be known I wasn't smart, and that's okay. So yeah, for me, 2 years felt like forever because I had just came back from Japan. I was living overseas. I came home. I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing. This is wasting time. But now, looking hindsight, those courses I was taking in my prerequisites were preparing me to understand the core classes in school. I totally get now why there's prerequisites, but there's a way to study with intent rather than just studying just to get through the class. Too.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I agree 100% because I did undergrad. I ended up graduating with my bachelor's before I even finally made it into dental hygiene school. And that's just a whole nother story in itself. When I was in undergrad, I was more like, I just had a good time. I was like party girl Dana. And, thinking back on that, I'm like, I really didn't maximize. I tried to learn and put priority in my science classes. But when I got into dental hygiene school, there were so many things that I came across that I was like, if I had applied myself in some of these aspects, just even 25% more, this would have made my life just a little bit easier in dental hygiene school. And I think having that connection of this will translate, even statistics. Did y'all have to take statistics as a prereq?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then did you use it in community? Because I did.
The math not mathing when I took statistics. I was like, thank God they gave me the formula sheet.
Yes.
I thought math was numbers. Why are these words?
Very difficult. So
Yeah.
mine was not statistics. That was the hard. I mean, it was hard, but mine was anatomy. I skated through anatomy and I took it the 5 years before I applied to dental hygiene school, and that messed with me. And everyone else passed with flying colors with anatomy, and I struggled and I was almost failing during midterms. So I had to stop and reteach myself the entire thing because I can't mess around once I graduate. And so that's where I really had to get my butt in gear and learn the material.
Yeah, you think about we're trying to really push for autonomy in our careers. And, Paula, you're able to own your own brick and mortar, which is incredible. And I want that for every state. But some of that also requires us to take on our own education and make sure that we are putting our best foot forward, learning the material correctly, because one day you may be doing Botox, right, in your state, and you need to know all of those different nerves and blood vessels and everything in the skin. And anything you could do to make that process easier, I think, is definitely worth it. So, yeah, really good insights there. So, Kevin, do you remember when you applied what your GPA was?
Okay, so it was so long after high school, so I just remember my high school GPA was the bare minimum to graduate high school.
2.0, Kevin. 2.0.
Okay, so it was
Kevin
like
2.0.
must have been like 2.7, I think, because I was in summer school most of my high school career, and then we had to take cyber high in my senior year just to make up all the classes I had failed. So I look smart, but the face card is such a catfish. I was like the worst student.
That is so surprising to me. Okay, so when you got into college, you start, working on your prereqs. Did you turn it around, or was it bumpy all through prereqs?
It was bumpy all through prereqs because I didn't understand how to apply myself. I'm realizing looking back now, I was like, I couldn't apply myself. I was so focused on my work that school came second, but I couldn't flip it because like life circumstances. We're adults. We were trying to figure out how to just survive. But even then, my prerequisites, I think I want to say it was probably like the bare minimum as well because I really struggled in my prerequisites. Not until I got into core that things started clicking, and then
Starts coming together.
but it started coming together, and then I graduated like in the middle of my class, and then once I got out into my practice, I just like pew, like I don't know, like caffeine finally hit, all the coffee hit after I graduated hygiene school.
I love that because, when I look at you, I'm like, you're a professor. I know you teach for national boards. You're a GPT trainer. You're doing all of these incredible things in the education space. I'm like, obviously you have smarts, right? It's all there. But sometimes it takes a while. I always say it's like our frontal lobes have to take a while to develop, right? It's not always there, right?
So much longer, apparently.
Kevin, it's because you look so young. So because you look so young, I think your frontal lobe took a little bit longer to like stay in range.
I'm trying not to eat as much collagen jellies, but they're just so good.
It's making your brain just grow and grow and grow, right?
Collagen is finally working late.
You're beautiful.
Yeah.
You're so beautiful.
Skin is looking great. I love it. Sorry if you're listening audio version, you can't see. You'll have to go watch the video version to see Kevin's glowing skin. But yeah, okay. So Kevin, what would you tell someone who is failing out of classes, going through summer school, just looking back on it, what would you tell that version of yourself?
Oh, I've actually had this conversation before, and it's like, what is it that you want? Like, what is it that you really want?
Yeah.
Because if it's just like, I just want to get through, like, there's either way, you're gonna have to get through it, but it's just how we're gonna get through it is the question, right? So it's like, what is it that you want out of this? Do you want to just get over the classes, or do you want to advance your career, or do you want to do this or do that? Then find the game plan to get through that. So, like, for me, it was I just wanted to get a better job to support my family. So I was like, okay, well, then you do need to apply yourself to some extent. And if this is what you chose, we can figure out a way to make it work and make lemonades out of lemons. But it has to be that mindset. It can't always be, well, I have X, Y, and Z because everyone has X, Y, and Z going on in
Yes.
their lives. And one struggles might be harder than the other in hindsight, but their struggles are still struggles and the body's going to respond the same way. So it's a matter of just how do we pivot? I mean, I told the student I was talking to recently, just think of Friends.
Yeah.
They were too young, they didn't know what Friends was, but I was like,
Oh, no.
"Pivot."
Pivot.
Know what Friends was and kind of wanted to smack up upside the head for that. But yes, pivot. Really just finding out your why. I understand it's cheesy, but understand what your why is to help you figure out what it's going to take. It's like working out. You don't want a BBL, but you want the BBL look. So you know that the way to get that is high protein, more leg work. So it's like there's a plan. There always can be a plan.
Yeah. I just had to Google BBL the other day because I was like, I hear it all, all the time. I'm like, what does that mean? I was like, big butt something. I was like, I know what it is visually, but what does it actually stand for? Which is a hot tip if you're studying in dental hygiene school. If you come across a word or an abbreviation or acronym or whatever you don't know, look it up because it's like unlocking. I'm like, okay, it all makes sense now. So no, but I love your advice. It is so true. If you don't know why you're doing something, you'll never be able to attach a meaning to it. And I kind of felt like I floated a while trying to figure that out. But once you figure it out, it's so much easier to lock in. And sometimes it takes time to figure it out. We don't always know from the time we're 6 years old. So really, really great advice there. Okay. So Paula, what was your GPA when you applied?
Oh gosh, Kevin, you're not alone in this. I'm gonna preface this with I have ADHD diagnosed. So I actually didn't graduate high school. I failed out of high school because I couldn't get myself to show up. And so even though I had the grades, I missed too many days and it made my points drop down enough to where I failed. So I had to take a summer course. I didn't get to walk with my friends, and I felt really defeated. So then, I didn't even have the 2.0. So I'm like Paula 1.7 and Kevin, you're Kevin 2.7. So going into hygiene school, I think I was at about a 3.0 because I started to figure out what I needed to do once I went into my journey as far as prerequisites and becoming an actual adult because 17, 18 years old is just way too young to try to figure out what you want to do.
I'm just blown away because, like I said, I look at both of you and I mean, I admire you, look up to you. I think that y'all are doing such incredible things in your career. And to hear the background, the struggles with that early phase of the education, I just know that it's going to inspire so many other students who are thinking it's not possible for me. Right. And like I said, it's like you find that thing and then you can turn it around. I mean, you can choose any day of your life to turn it around and start living it differently. Okay. You have ADHD. Do you have any advice for students who are struggling with that?
Get diagnosed. My journey was really difficult with it because I present extremely intelligent to other people. I don't feel like I'm extremely intelligent at all, but other people get that sensation. And so when I would go to my doctor and say, I feel like something's wrong, like I'm not performing the way that I feel, I have a really hard time with motivation. I've had a couple like psychiatrists yell at me and really, really just talk down to me and accuse me of wanting to get medicine. And so they would misdiagnose me and give me other medicine. And I started to do therapy into COVID. I graduated during COVID. That therapist, 6 months into it, goes, Paula, you know you have ADHD, right? And my jaw hit the floor and I was like, I knew it. I knew something was wrong because things for me are 10 times more difficult to do just to even like get up and do a task like laundry because my mind is thinking about all of the after things like folding it and what else I have to do during that time. And then I just don't do it at all. And so my advice is if you feel like something is wrong, listen to your body, listen to your brain, and follow through with it, even if people tell you no, because people don't know your body. And if you feel like something's wrong, really push forward and find the right person who's going to help you.
I mean, I'm going through this myself, not with ADHD, but I recently had a hysterectomy and they found endometriosis, and it took over 20 years to find it and be diagnosed. And this is after seeing gastroenterologists, urologists, 5 different gynecologists, 5 different primary care physicians, knowing exactly like you said, I knew something was wrong. And I'm different. For me, it's like the fatigue associated with it. I'd unload the dishwasher and have to go take a seat. Like, what is going on? Like, normal, I'm healthy. Like, why do I feel this way? And women are chronically underdiagnosed. They're diagnosed with the wrong thing. I got anxiety, depression. I was on medication. Now, I did have anxiety and depression because of all the other crap I was dealing with, but it's one of those things where for women, we really have to advocate for ourselves even more. And I've even heard some people, they'll take a man with them to their doctor's appointment because they get better results that way. So, I love what you said. You have to advocate for yourself and you have to keep pushing forward to find the solutions to the problems, because once you figure that out, it's like, I don't know, you just feel like you have better control over your life and what's happening and what you want to do in the future. So thank you for sharing that, because I know that that's a vulnerable thing to share whenever we're talking about anything health related, but I really appreciate that. So, Kevin and Paula, life gets figured out, GPAs are on the rise, you get into dental hygiene school. All right, Kevin, what was the most difficult part of dental hygiene school for you?
The school, everything, like existing. And my students now think that I was like super smart, but the faculty that I work with were my instructors and they know I struggled through a lot of it. I was still trying to figure out how to apply myself. I mean, things started to make sense, but then I had super bad test anxiety. Like they give you an hour to take the test. I was done in 10 minutes because I couldn't sit, some students can take it and they're fine. Some take the whole hour. Some take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, like myself. But it was like I couldn't read. It started getting tunnel vision. I was like, if I don't know it at this point, I don't know. I don't know how to critically think. It's just so much anxiety. So that was a huge struggle through the entire part of my academic journey. To the point where, like, right after the test, because I had 50 minutes, I would have a blanket with me and I'd sleep in the hallway because I was so drained from taking that test.
Wow.
Yeah, it was bad. And I think my faculty thought I was just a sleepyhead, but it was really like a lot of anxiety going into it then every week because it was a fast track course. So we finished everything in a year, I want to say. A little over a year, but that's less than a 2-year program. So we were going super fast. And
Yeah.
I think like anxiety just took over. So
Yeah.
that part was the hardest part for me.
And so many students face that. I mean, I do national board tutoring and I hear that they're like tunnel vision, or it's like, I can't focus because that anxiety, it's like a blanket just being laid over your head. You're like, I can't get in touch with the information. Right. And I like what you said, that you finish exams really, really fast. And, your classmates who also maybe have test anxiety are looking at you and they're like, oh, Kevin's got it going on.
They were surprised to see when we were at pinning, like I didn't get chords or whatever. Like, so for the national boards, and I share this story all the time, it's an 8-hour test, right? Most on average takes what, maybe 4 or 5 hours. I finished in 2. I didn't take my break. I mean, I took one break to pee, but otherwise I just like powered through it. I ran to my car. I didn't even go home. I slept in the car. Sleeping is my solution to everything.
How
I
your
get
body
that.
resets.
I'm all about a nap, so I
It's
get
not
it.
because I have sleep apnea, so I didn't realize at the time. So I was just tired on top of that. But yes, so it was anxiety was the hardest part of
Yeah.
school. Like I didn't understand everything, but you can study that. It was how do I get through my anxiety, and I almost didn't. I don't.
That's what I was going to ask. Was there a magic solution? One day you figured it out, or you just kept going until you graduated and then you were like, thank God I never have to do that again?
It was that. It was like, thank God I never have to do that again. But now that I'm on the other side of things, and I don't know, Paul, if you might have experiences too, because we have similar anxieties. I know that we've talked about that.
Yeah.
But now looking back, you're like, actually, there was a solution, but we're so tunnel visioned. And I almost want to say this is the culture of dental hygiene, and I do want it to change. We are striving for perfection, like unrealistic perfection, when we are just human. And dental hygiene is a science that is ongoing. So it's never going to stay the same. So we're constantly going to have to adjust anyway. But
Yeah.
we're so strict on this is how we do it here. This is you do it like this. You have to do it like this. This is how you hold things. And I get that part. But it was such anxiety of like, you failed because your fingernail was long and you put it on the other side of the handle. I just breathed for a second. How am I feeling already?
Yeah.
I'm actually really glad that they teach it to that standard of care because when we graduate, things get so diluted by depending on who you work for. And you
Yeah.
don't know who you're going to work for until you're a few months in. And I feel like if we didn't come out with that standard of care, we would have no idea what our profession is. And that standard of care is our profession. So when things start to get diluted, I can recall back to when I was in school and be like, no, this is what we're meant to do. This is what we should be doing. Like, this is right and this is wrong. And I can go back to my ethics and my morals and stand to it because I had that standard. That's really important to me.
I agree. I mean, I like both of your perspectives. I think there's a way we can build in the standard of care while being a better culture for our students and thinking about what they're going through. Paula going through it with ADHD, Kevin going through it with severe test anxiety, me going through it with undiagnosed endometriosis. Like I said, we all have XYZ that we're dealing with at any given time. And to put that insane amount of pressure on your students and also on yourself, that's why I started the podcast, is because I had students who failed out and it was such an emotional process for me because I'm like, they were going through such tough things. I'm like, how do I just help them? So I got to get in front of it, right? And that's really what started all this, was like, I got to get to them before they even get there and tell them like it's possible and these are tips and tricks. But Paul, I love what you said, because I think, anyone who's knows anything about dental hygiene right now knows that we're going through a big kind of moment, I think, in the field of dental hygiene. And I know that scares a lot of people who are interested in going into the field. I think this is the best time of our career because of those standards that are laid out in dental hygiene school. Hygienists are notoriously known for having very high standards, and we teach our students that. And I think sometimes, because of the type of personality we usually are, it gets a little bit muddled with some of that stress and anxiety. But at the end of the day, now we're all saying we know what the standard of care is and we know what we're capable of and what we should be allowed to do. So when we're not given enough time to do an EOIO exam or, like take blood pressure, we don't have a blood pressure cuff. We're all like, this is not the standard. This is not the standard. Okay, I'm going to go off topic for a second because Shelly, the hygienist, posted a blood pressure reading the other day, and all the nurses and doctors, and they're like, I work in the ER, and this is not an important blood pressure. I can't believe y'all would send someone to the doctor for this and all that. And I'm like, do you know why we do that? Because we follow the American Heart Association guidelines. And I'm like, and we screen patients for things that could become a bigger issue. We try and prevent medical emergencies from happening. I'm like, the fact that we see that and we have that level of standard of care, I don't care what it is when they go into the ER. I mean, as long as you recognize it's a medical emergency or, but the thing is, it's like we are designed to catch those things early. And I just think our profession is so much more than anyone thinks it is. And I know that y'all are both big advocates for our profession. So thank you for sharing all that information and, voicing your opinion. And I know it can be scary. You get a lot of criticism when you say these things online, right? Paula, right?
I've been going through it. So many dentists are coming at me for a couple of things that I've said, and it's the truth, and I'll never stop saying it, but they really come at you.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Powerful in realizing, and what was the show I watched? Don't make fun of me. I'm a domesticated housewife on the inside. I was watching The View, and Sherry Shepherd said
Oh
that
my God.
Goldberg told her she starts to have a platform, immediately 50% of your audience will already disagree with you. And I took that to heart because as a speaker, I'm going up, 50% of the people are not going to like what I have to say about traditional dentistry versus like modern dentistry. Same thing with Paula, like you're way more on social media than I am. So there's already that. And you see it happening. But I think it's powerful for you, Dana, when you said there is a way to still have the standard and embrace said standard that we do desperately need to have and also balance it out. It's not military school either, where we need to drill them in a delicate way so that they can understand both. So then how do we balance that out, right? I keep dancing. Sorry, if people watching, they're going to see me dancing back and forth.
Taylor
Taylor
Swift
background
on?
music. Yeah. We're going to have a dance party at the end. Yeah, I agree. I mean, just thinking about Paula, you're out there sharing these things and you have to say it. But I think your students, your future students who are going to be watching you and seeing you advocate for the profession, go into town on like, this is what's important. I just think about the future of dental hygiene that's going to breed as well, right? Like don't take no for an answer. And we are here to raise the standards. And so, yeah, I'm excited. Like I said, I think we're just like approaching the peak at this point. I think there's going to be big changes, but I think they're going to be very positive. At least, I don't know. I'm the eternal optimist. What do y'all think?
I think I'm in agreement with you. I think this is the best time to go into hygiene school. It's the best time to be a hygienist because we're fired up, the ones that are already professionals. We are fired up, wanting to inspire the future of our profession. But then again, we have, like we were just talking about, faculty that are understanding what this new generation of students are going to look like and what's going to be outputted after school. We're influencing those changes that maybe we are like, that didn't work well. And this upcoming generation, they are so vocal. They're so in tune with themselves more than we ever were, don't you think? And as much as I'm like, I was never allowed to speak that way. Like, actually, it puts me in a place of like, wait, they are so in tune with themselves. I need to work with them for what they need. That we are hygienists. We are always trying to create individualized patient care plans, right? We have to apply it in school too now, and
Yes.
it's really exciting. It is so exciting to be a faculty.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I just think the younger generations, they care for themselves better. They say when something's not right. They don't just kind of like keep taking it just because they're supposed to. But also, I find that they are incredibly supportive of each other. At least that's been my experience. Very kind, very supportive. And I think most people that, I mean, it's kind of unusual when I come across someone in the hygiene community who like isn't that way. I know they're out there because, we've all had situations, but I would say they are overwhelmingly exceeded by amazing hygienists who really care about the future of our profession. So, Paula, any final thoughts on the future? Would you say this is a good time to go to dental hygiene school?
Yes, it is an amazing time to go to dental hygiene school with a caveat. We're going to be posting a lot of scary stuff because of legislation. And with that, I'm going to say go to school, get the education, and then come on our side and fight with us.
Yes.
So you guys are really, really optimistic, and I love it, and so am I. But that's going to come with some work. We
Yeah.
can't just sit around and twiddle our thumbs and scale teeth and expect to have a career or a profession in 50 years. And so I will say when you graduate, join your local association, wherever that is, and put in the work, however that looks for you, whether that's just monetary, if you don't have the time to volunteer with your local association, we could use the monetary value to help us lobby for our profession, and it's needed. Great time to go. We're here to support you. I'm here to welcome you on the other side when you come, and it's going to be exciting.
Backstory, she's crazy busy, which she's doing amazing things. She just opened up her own brick and mortar. Like, so like we try, but when we're together, it's like this is the best friend. That's
Yeah.
how I feel. And just gonna be sappy. And I love you, Paula.
I
I
love you
love
too, Kevin.
that. See the relationships that can be forged through dental hygiene. I love it so much. Well, I'm just super grateful for both of you for being here, sharing your stories, and really the level of advice that came down in this episode. I'm just like going to be basking in it for the next few hours. I think that this is maybe one of my favorite episodes just in terms of like how many different things we talked about. Yeah. So congratulations. You guys did amazing. And I just want to finish up with where can we find you, learn more about you, ask questions if we have them. So Kevin, go ahead, drop your deets.
Oh, so you can always catch me on Instagram at Kev's Talks Teeth. That's probably the fastest way to get to me.
Thank you. Okay, Paula, where do we find you?
Social media, it's Bye Bye Biofilm on Instagram and newly TikTok.
Okay, I'm new to TikTok too. Yeah, I just started it last week. So how
I
exciting.
fell. How do you keep it up?
Okay, I don't post all the time, but sometimes I'll get like intrigued and I'll record like 3 or 4 videos of bursts of like something that I'm hot about in that moment. And then I'll just post all those. And I have ADHD, so I'll post them all at the same time. I won't even like schedule them out. And it works. I don't know. Something's working.
Well, that's what they say. You want to record when you are feeling passionate about something and that shines through. So I love it. I mean, I love your content. I just got on TikTok and I was like, the first person I followed was Bye Bye Biofilm. Yeah. Yeah. So great
you.
job, both of you, for all the things that you're putting out there, the education that you're going to give to our future students. I'm appreciative. I know they are as well. And yeah, just thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.